Welcome to the game plan. I'm Rico. Today I'm going to do a review roundup, which is for us. It's kind of like a review. We don't really want to do traditional reviews. There's a lot of channels out there that do that, but what we like to do is provide a spectrum in the reviews. We do want to talk about games that we've given negative reviews for, but we don't want to put forth the effort and just poo-poo on a game. So instead, what we want to do is focus on a game that I believe has done a better job of implementing that idea, but wasn't really for me, but I could see, a wide audience here. And then I'd like to discuss a game that I think implements that idea very, very well. And it's kind of my ideal, like this game has replaced this game or both of these games. That's kind of what we try to do here. Today I'm going to be talking about Nabi. So in Hanabi, you're going to have a hand of cards that are facing away from you, and your team is trying to give you hints, and you're working together to build out a fireworks show. I mean, the theme is pretty pasted on, but basically you don't know what your cards are, and based off the hints that your teammates have given you, you need to deduce what you're holding so that you know when to place it down. This game has provided me with an endless amount of frustration against the other players I'm playing with. And I don't like that. I don't like a game that allows me to feel resentment towards the players that I'm playing with because they have not, maybe they've forgotten what I had said or didn't understand the hint, or for whatever reason there was a miscommunication between me and them, and the result is we are all going to have a bad time. I don't like that. That's not fun for me. I want to play a game and grow closer to the people I'm playing with, not further away from them. And so Hanabi is an example of a game that, for me, is an absolute loss. It's an absolute swing and a miss. There is no benefit for me for playing that game, and I will never want to play it again. But I know a lot of people really like it. And a game that I had found that I believe has a similar concept, not just because it's cooperative, but that whole idea of limited communication. We're limited in the amount of information that we're allowed to share with each other, or we're limited in some capacity by what we're allowed to do during our turn, was Magic Maze. Magic Maze is another cooperative game, but this time the communication is silence. You cannot talk, but every person has a somewhat unique ability associated with them. And so imagine a game where you're trying to get characters to move around on a map and accomplish certain goals. So say go to this location, do something, and then go to this other location to escape. And I think for the Magic Maze, you're in a mall. I think you're stealing stuff. I'm not really sure, but you're essentially trying to move players around inside of a mall to a location and then get them to an exit. And you do so where each player controls that unique-ish ability. So let's say I can only move players in the north direction, and that player can only move them in the east direction. And so if I'm moving the player along in the north direction and they hit a wall, or I need them to go down an escalator, or I need them to open a door, or I need them to do something that my character ability doesn't allow me to do, I then rely on the other players that I'm with to fulfill that. And so, this person can now move him east along that wall until he gets to where I can take him north again. You would think that might cause the same kind of resentment, like, I need this guy going north, how come you can't figure out that needs to happen? And I fully expected it did, and I ended up enjoying this game way more than I thought I would. And so that's why I really wanted to mention it on this list. Is I'm not a fan of co-ops, and I'm not a fan of real-time games. It's a real-time game as well. I'm not a fan of that chaos. I like puzzles that are very consistent. I can optimize. That's really what I like. And so the fact that I enjoyed this at all, I think kind of tells you that it's a decent game. Or, I mean, it's a game that I think has a very wide audience. And if you're looking for something that has that handcuffing of what you're allowed to do, but the team needs to work together to kind of overcome that, I would recommend this one over Hanabi, for all the reasons I've just mentioned. Now, I won't be wanting to play this one all the time. This isn't a game that I'm going to be wanting to ask to bring to the table again. It's a little bit chaotic. It's one that I enjoyed more than I thought I would, but it's by no means one of my favorites. However, Shipwreck Arcana, I think, is a fantastic third tier to this hierarchy here. Shipwreck Arcana is a game that's cooperative, and on your turn you're going to have two numbers, and they're both going to be hidden. and you're going to keep one hidden and play the other one face up into a card that's in play that everyone can see. And these cards have little logical deduction mechanisms on them. So, for example, one of the cards might say, the number you play here plus the number you have hidden is even. Okay, so if I had, say, a 1 and a 3, and I place that 1 there, 1 plus 3 is 4, that means it's even. So I can place it in front of that card. And now all the people know that my hidden number is odd because I've placed a 1 saying that 1 plus my number is even. That means that they know that it's either a 1, a 3, a 5, etc. But it's not a 2, a 4, a 6. And you go through a series of these until they can deduce down that, oh, your number is a 5 or a 3 or whatever it happens to be. I love the fact there's just a variety of cards that are available to you. Everyone has all the information, but you're restricted and you can't give hints. You can't really give any communication to the team other than what you can play in front of you. And if none of the cards that are out there are really useful in narrowing the scope of what you have, that's really where the challenge comes in and where your trick of what conclusions you can force your team to draw based off of the result that you played. Like if you played something somewhere where the team deduced that you could equally have played here or here, they have to now decide, why didn't you play over here instead? Does this one give more information somehow? Like both of these result in 3, 5, and 7 as the options, but this one also indicates that he doesn't have anything higher than a this, or you know, there's usually some other layer of logic that kind of sneaks its way in there, and I think that's really fun to try and squeak out as a team. I really enjoy that. So you have the handcuffing. You can't really give them a hint. You're very bound by what's available to you. But there's something about the collaboration and the way that the game presents those problems to me that I think is just superior to those other two in the way that those handcuff you. If you enjoy logic, puzzles, deduction, and pure deduction, not inference, none of that, consulting detective stuff, that's not logic, or that's not deduction, that's inference. If you really like deduction, I think you should give this one a try. It's a great one. In general, cooperative games are not really something I'm very interested in. I know a lot of people that I play with who tend to like them. And then I'm also aware that a lot of gamers in general tend to like. It's a very popular genre of board game. And for me, being introduced to a lot of new gamers and being introduced to a lot of new games, there tend to be a lot of people who want to play co-ops. And that's always kind of okay. And I love the fact that I have Shipwreck Arcana that I can say, hey, if we're going to play a co-op game, let's play this one. This is a good one. And yet to have anyone dislike it. So I'm going to go, boom, Nabi, swing and a miss. Magic Maze, I can see how people like it. That's one I'd recommend to a wide audience. And then, bam, we're going to go with Shipwreck Arcana, takes the cake. Let me know what you guys think. Have you played any of them? Do you have any others that you would think fit on this list somewhere? Let me know in the comments below. I'll see you next time.